Welcome back. In this video, we are going to see about what is Spring Security. So there are many things that are a part of this component of this great features Spring Security. So we have to see how I can implement to secure my web or mobile application so that there won't be any security breaches in my application. That is a part of security, and this security can be achieved using the passwords, right? I mean, the password may be the plain password, may be encoded or decoded password. So we see this, what are the algorithms that Spring Security provides and how to use that. Even some authorization happen in the same application when multiple roles are allowed. So when user is with some specific role login in the application, he to see some different dashboard. Some of the screens are not seen to him because he is not authorized to see that page. So that kind of authentication we will talk about. That is actually not authentication, that is the part of authorization, right? So you are not authorized to, you are logged in the application, you are authenticated, but that particular screen or that particular resource or API is not made available to you, right? Apart from that, sometimes what happens in the Netflix, you see, like we have defined like one user can log in on the 5 platforms, right? So some authentication authorization happen based on the logins also. So on what platform the same user has logged in. So this kind of things we will see. Apart from that, we will also see how to implement the security at the very minute level. It means at the method level security also we can apply, like in the whole screen only some particular buttons are some particular user can perform some operation on that, not all the users, though the page is visible to all the users, but that particular functionality is hidden to some of the users. So that is also we'll see how to do that. Apart from that, there are some security which is related to the browser. So when you hit any application, so Spring Security used to check the request is coming from which source, whether this source I have added as a trusted resource or not. If that source is not trusted, it will throw some error, that is called CORS, right? Cross origin resource security. Apart from that, there are CSRF tokens also. And when user logged in one application, so there are many things that he is going to access. So on what base each and every API is going to authenticate whether this user is validated or not. So that is the whole system work on based on the tokens. So token is the latest de facto and the standard in the to Spring Security. So we are going to talk about the JWT implementation of these tokens, and we also see how to provide the OAuth 2 mechanism. Apart from that, we also see how to avoid to make any changes by the session fixation, where session is there. So if someone wants to modify making some change in the session and want to reuse that, we can avoid that, you can prevent that things. So this is all about the things that we are going to learn. And the agenda, if we are talking about the course, so this is what I have divided. So we'll start from the Spring Security is the very basic definitions and what are the existing Spring Security classes are there. So we'll talk about everything, what is the flow, what is the architecture, how it works, okay, step by step we'll see that. We also talk about in the section 3 what are the important classes interface of the Spring Security. Then in the later stage, we will talk about the authentication and authorization of the web app. We will see deeper what are the classes which provide authentication, what are the classes which implementation provide the authorization. Apart from that, we will also talk about the role-based access of the APIs. So this is called, that was I talking about in the last slide. So it was related to the very provide the security at the method level. So it's needs role or authorities. Normally when we talk about roles, it means Spring Security says it's authorities, right? And the next part, section 6, we will talk about the different strategy. I mean, okay, so when someone is trying to log in, so their password, their login mechanism, there are different ways. So we'll talk about all that strategy. And the 5 and 7 are this section are interrelated. So in that, I'm talking about the method level security in Spring Security, how to configure that, how how to read the role, and based on the role we throw some message to the user, so that whether he's allowed to provide this particular action or not on that method. Even how to handle the CORS error, CSRF error, and Spring Security. So we'll talk about this CORS and CSRF. These are very common attacks and common browser-based security. So normally when you develop an application, you are going to use this. Next section we talk about the how to implement the Spring Security using the JWT token. So JWT, just in a simple way, JWT is a string which is having some fixed format. It is having actually three parts in the JWT token in the string. So each part has its own significance. So all this should be validated and is matched. If it is everything is okay, then only we allow to access that API. Then we'll see how to without password, if someone wants to log in, like login with Gmail, login with Facebook. So we'll talk about the login with Gmail, how to provide the OAuth 2. So we'll also see all the implementation. Apart from that, we will also give some gist about the Keycloak. Keycloak is one of the, just like Google, it is also one of the server where user can authorize it themselves, and the authorization can happen. It means you are keeping these data related to authorization and authentication on some other server, right? So all these things we are going to talk. And apart from that, there are multiple hashing algorithm. So hashing is a two-way. If some string is getting hashed, it may be converted back to the original result, or it may not be converted to the original result. So normally we are going to talk about it. The reverse is not possible. I mean, once you converted that a hash, that is string, it is a completely different string, and it cannot be converted back to the original one. So all these things we're going to talk about is all through this section. Apart from that, we'll also cover some most significant questions and some topics and concept in the last. And as I said earlier in the first slide itself, like we are going to provide all the solution, all the things in the same section. It will be attached as a resource, so you can download that. You're going to start from any point of time. So this is all about in this section. Thank you.